Hey everybody, it's GauntletX, and welcome back to some more Magic Arena, and today we're going to be playing another premiere draft of Ikoria, Lair of Behemoths. Without further ado, let's slam dunk our pack one, pick one rare. Gyruda, Doom of Depths is a very good card in any deck. As a 6-mana 6/6 that reanimates a creature from either graveyard that you manage to mill when it hits the board. But it's even better if you can pack one, pick one it, because then you can try to build around it, drafting only cards with even mana values so that you always have this turn 6. You just spend turn 3 putting it into your hand, and turn 6 dropping it down, trying to win from there. So let's grab Gyruda, Doom of Depths to start things off. Pack one, pick number 2. So we want to focus up on even mana values if we can, which means not Cavern Whisperer. The options are Dark Bargain for OK card draw or Zagoth Triome for fixing. I'll just go for the Triome here, but this is a pretty unexciting pack for pick number 2 out of blue and black. Honestly, I think my favorite card here is probably Fire Prophecy, excellent removal for any red deck, or Drannith Healer, just forcing the cycling deck a little bit there. But we'll take the Triome. Pick number 3, we've got Humble Naturalist if we decide to go green-blue or green-black. This can ramp into Gyruda a little bit early, and it is an even mana value. The other even mana values in the pack are Anticipate and Lurking Deadeye, which are just fine. We could also take Evolving Wilds, just start with excellent fixing for whatever we want to do. But I kind of like Naturalist ramp into Gyruda as a plan. Pick number 4, there's a Ram Through. This is a solid green removal spell that is also an even mana value. Or we have the Bushmeat Poacher, very solid even mana value black creature. So we know we're green and we're 50-50 on blue or black, so I think we take the good green card there. Or we don't know we're green. We know if we're playing Naturalist, we have to be green. Whereas Gyruda, we can play in blue or black, so we're not locked to the black, we're not locked to the blue on that one. Pick 5. Just some pretty good black cards, but the really good one is an odd mana value. Actually, both of the best ones are odd mana values. Sadly, we've got the only even mana value card here is a Capture Sphere. Or I guess Unexpected Fangs. I guess we just take Capture Sphere. Not super pumped about that one. Pick 6, we get a second Humble Naturalist. Pretty happy to be in the green direction. Cast some turn 5 Gyrudas. Some absolute blasphemy. We're going to be casting Gyruda on an odd turn. Absolutely evil. Pick 7, there's an excellent even mana value creature for Gyruda to mill, the Honey Mammoth here. Plus we have double Naturalist to ramp into it. So I like the big high mana value creature over the little card draw engine, the Facet Reader. Pick 8, we can take a second Capture Sphere, but this is somewhat mediocre removal. We could take Evolving Wilds instead, and I'm just going to do that. Alternatively, we could splash in Corpse Churn, or we're not married to blue yet with just one Capture Sphere. So if we go black instead of blue, then having the Corpse Churn so that if Gyruda dies, we just do it again, plus Gyruda mills towards the Corpse Churn. Corpse Churn's kind of sick, actually. I'm actually going to speculate on that. Not be so tied to blue this fast. And we can start with double Corpse Churn towards the Gyruda. I could also try to draft a bunch of Cyclers and flicker Gyruda over and over with Escape Protocol. Pretty cute in blue, but cycling is probably going to be pretty contested. Pick 10, this is all odd. Is it literally all odd? No, there's a Survivor's Bond. Now there's a Lurking Deadeye. Or Anticipate. But off this double Corpse Churn, I like starting the pivot towards black instead of blue. So grab the Deadeye there. Oh wow, we got the Bushmeat Poacher pick 12. This is one of the best even mana value creatures, at least at common, in black, so we'll take that. Unexpected Fangs is even. And I guess black looks a lot more likely than blue here at this point. So, pack 2, pick 1. There is an even mana value removal spell. I feel like we have to take these really highly because we're forced into only taking evens. So, the amount of removal that we can draft is like halved. So, I think we take Heartless Act here, but the other two great options are Thornwood Falls, obviously. Green-blue fixing if we do play a little bit of blue still, splash around with these three colors. Or Umori the Collector, which we can't have two companions, and we're definitely not going to play a deck where all cards are the same type. So this is just a 4-mana 4/5 that we could play on curve and then play Gyruda one turn sooner, which is cute. But yeah, it would be main deckable. But Heartless Act, I think, is certainly the best option. Oh, really good odd mana value card there. Voracious Great Shark. The only even mana value cards that we would even play are Capture Sphere or Sleeper Dart, which are quite mediocre, so I'm going to leave that odd mana value option open. Is it going to be worth not playing something in the companion slot to have a Great Shark in the deck? Probably not quite, but if we get like another odd mana value rare, then that's where it is going to become worth it. Now we can Skull Prophet ramp into Gyruda alongside our Humble Naturalists. Seems good to me. Essence Symbiote, usually pretty good in green, but we have no mutate yet, and a good amount of human creatures. So I don't think we're doing a lot of mutating in this deck. Dark Bargain is an even mana value, or the Facet Reader. We could take Bonder's Enclave, so that we can draw a bunch of cards if we flood out in the late game. As long as we've got one beefy creature on board, that is a thing. I think I just take the Dark Bargain. Another Dark Bargain. And that's it for evens. Take a Scoured Barrens in case we get a sick white rare, I guess. But I'll take another Dark Bargain. There's a Blitz Leech. Great 6-drop. Great card to reanimate for Gyruda, but we also have premium removal with Blood Curdle. Instant speed removal that also makes one of your creatures better with Menace. It destroys anything as well. Let's take the Blood Curdle. Pick 7. Bristling Boar or Lurking Deadeye. Just some doofuses here. We'll take the Lurking Deadeye. Pick 8. Skycat Sovereign. This thing's busted. We're green-black. We would have to splash the blue and the white towards it. It's an even mana value, though. And everything else playable is an odd anyway. Alright. I don't think we're playing this, but there's literally no reason not to draft it. I guess if I end up with like 4 Humble Naturalists, we can try to have this. Add white and blue off of this thing. Got 1 blue source already with the Triome. Kind of wish I took the white source over the Dark Bargain. I was not expecting like a pick 8 rare to be a thing. That could get us to wanting to that white source. We need to find 5 more playables. Ideally, mostly creatures at this point. All right. Ooh, that's an even mana value. And that's just like a potentially one-sided board wipe if you're super lucky. Well, that's a slam dunk. Other options are Blood Curdle, which is great, and Coil Bug, which is pretty good. But we take the Extinction Event for sure. I did want to take more creatures, but not over an Extinction Event. Now we have a Bristling Boar, a Lurking Deadeye, green-black duel, green-blue duel towards Skycat. I'll just take the Lurking Deadeye here. Need more creatures pretty badly. This is an awkward lurking Deadeye deck because we're so low on creatures that this doesn't really have an enter the battlefield effect. It's just a 4-mana 4/2 flash, which, you know, it's still okay. Trades off, grinds out the game a little bit for us to get towards the Gyruda. Okay. Even mana value Boot Nipper looks excellent. Some good odd mana value cards here. Mythos, and then in particular the Starix is wildly good when you stack up mutate cards onto it. Another Honey Mammoth looks pretty awesome for this deck. And it's not even competing with any cheap creatures, so that's an easy one. Space Godzilla is an 8-mana creature. That's an even mana value creature. We could hit an 8/8 Death Touch off of the Gyruda. Sure. He's sick. Essence Symbiote is fine. We have no mutate in this deck, but still a 2-mana 2/2 on curve is good. This card's very good with mutate, but that doesn't really matter right now. It looks like pretty much all the mutate creatures are odd mana values, which is awkward. At least for us. We could take a Dismal Backwater, which only matters if we splash in the Skycat Sovereign, which again still looks quite unlikely, so it's probably better to take a Ram Through here. Yeah, I'll take a Ram Through. Now a Bristling Boar. Now a Coil Bug. And there we go, we are there. Just full-on green-black evens the deck. Cut a few of these non-creatures and be pretty happy. I don't think I'm going to play triple Dark Bargain. I already might be cutting one. Alright, so now we are in the deck building. We're on 15 creatures here, and with Gyruda, we want to consistently hit something off of our mill, so I don't think we want to cut, like, any creatures. Yeah, 15. So just cut 6 non-creature cards and call it a deck. Triple Dark Bargain's a bit much. Let's just sort by the really good ones we're never going to cut. Extinction Event as a potential one-sided board wipe. Blood Curdle for super efficient removal. Heartless Act for really good removal. I think this is best to worst. Are these 3 as the top 3? And then what else is really good here? Our creature count is decent for Ram Through. We've got plenty of 4 power and greater creatures, so I think the Ram Throughs are also pretty good. Need to cut 6 cards, so Wilt for sure. Unexpected Fangs and Unlikely Aid for sure as well, so 3 more cuts out of these. I really like the idea of Survivor's Bond and Corpse Churn in a deck where you know you're always going to be playing a Gyruda, because not only are we filling our grave with that self-mill every game, but if Gyruda dies and ends up in our graveyard, being able to pick it up and recast it again later is a really big deal. So I want to play at least one of these 3 cards. I kind of think like 1 Survivor's Bond, because we have a pretty good human count, with Prophet, Double Naturalist, and Deadeye, are the best of these. And then like 1 Corpse Churn as well, which leaves me with double Dark Bargain as the last additions, and that looks pretty fine to me. I could alternatively go double Corpse Churn, 1 Dark Bargain, but I think that's like the last kind of change to the deck here, is like what is the Corpse Churn versus Dark Bargain count. I think I'll go 2 versus 1, just to make it more consistent. We are maybe churning back the Gyruda or anything else that milled. Just run the 1 dedicated card draw spell here. Although, wait a second, it says 41 cards now. I thought I was at 41 already, cutting the 41st. I guess not. I guess we just go 1 Dark Bargain, 1 Corpse Churn then. or 0 Dark Bargains. Or we can cut the 2-mana 2/2 with no text because we don't have any other mutators, or any mutators at all. I guess we could just cut Symbiote then. We still have 2, 3, 4, 5 2-drops. Yeah, I'll just drop a Symbiote. And now we will call it a deck here. All right, here's the final deck list for today. We're on a Gyruda Companion deck, so everything in here is an even mana value, and we know that turn 6 every game, as long as we spend a few mana earlier, we are going to be slamming down a Gyruda, milling each player 4, and hopefully reanimating something big like a Honey Mammoth or a Space Godzilla, or something from our opponent's deck. So since we know we're consistently going to have Gyruda, we have really built around it here. We have multiple pieces of ramp to try to cast it a turn early with double Naturalist and a Skull Prophet. We also have multiple ways to bring it back from the grave to redo its Enter the Battlefield effect, 2 Corpse Churns and a Survivor's Bond, and of course just tons of even mana value creatures, because in order for it to be in the companion slot, we had to play all evens anyway. So that's everything that we built around specifically towards Gyruda. Other than that, plenty of great cards that fit into any deck. The potential one-sided board wipe of Extinction Event. We've got the Blood Curdle for excellent removal, as well as Double Ram Through and Heartless Act for some more. So really solid looking deck. Very excited to see how it does. So without further ado, let's hop into the gameplay. Here we are for game 1. Pretty slow keep here. Definitely some risk to it. But as long as we are not against like a white deck, we should be fine. And now that we drew Extinction Event, I think we're fine regardless. Even if they curve out really aggressively, we can try to get rid of at least half their creatures with this thing. So those are both even mana values. So hoping for more even mana values from our opponent. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I will not have to discard Gyruda if I put it in the hand here. Well, I won't have to discard Gyruda no matter what, but I won't have to discard a card if I put Gyruda in hand this turn. So we'll get that out of the way. Well, they could Memory Leak Gyruda, and then I can Survivor's Bond it. This is going to be the world's saddest Memory Leak. Because Survivor's Bond basically just blanks it. That was comedic timing, though. I won't have to discard Gyruda no matter what, and then they Memory Leak. Luckily, our deck is very resilient to Memory Leak. They probably get rid of Extinction Event here. No, they still hit Gyruda. Oh, it exiles? Oh, shoot. Never mind, it's not resilient. That thing exiles. Well. Dang. I think that's actually the first time I've been memory leaked this time around, so. I didn't have to discard it, though. I had to exile it. That still sucks, though. So I'm just going to play a Deadeye here. Just eat one of these 1/1s for free, or I eat their combat trick of some kind. And if they don't attack, I can still just Dark Bargain, since Dark Bargain is an instant. Dark Bargain probably a little better than I gave it credit for in this deck, just because we have 3 instant speed 4-drop creatures. With the triple lurking Deadeye. Cloud Piercer is an odd mana value, right? Yeah. I guess that means if they don't attack with it, I could still put the Deadeye on the board. Okay, if they do attack with it, I'm just going to kill it to not take the 5. But I was going to say, if they don't attack with it, I could still put Deadeye on the board, and we could just plan on Extinction Eventing on Odd later. I can Coil Bug holding up a Ram Through here, or I just Dark Bargain towards a Honey Mammoth. I feel like Dark Bargain's probably worth it. Actually, I didn't play a land drop this turn, so I should do it right now. Wow. Never mind. There's no lands in the top 3. I guess I can go blank myself. Oh, Skull Prophet, I guess. With the 6-drop here. We also have the Survivor's Bond. Which means we're going to want a lot of mana on a later turn as well, so we could like cast Survivor's Bond and recast something the same turn. Where is the mana? I have to Extinction Event some 1/1s? I don't think so. I can still block with a Coil Bug and take 2. I feel like Extinction Eventing here is kind of the equivalent as like spending a 1/1 removal spell on a 3/3. Like, it's not great. But I'm getting close to having to do it. Even mana value creature. But obviously ours are evens as well. Okay, there's land 5, which with Skull Prophet means it's mana number 6. Bond these 2 back and have 3 up afterward, which isn't enough to cast anything after using the bond. I guess I can bond and still hold up a ram through. It's not bad. But I can hold up a ram through Heartless Act instead and save all of the recursion for Honey Mammoth. Just loop a Honey Mammoth over and over. And that would feel pretty stable. Self-mill with this if I want. I don't think I need to with the current board, though. Okay. This is concerning. They have instant speed removal for the Skull Prophet. This is going to be a big problem. They counter the ram through. And then I don't have the Honey Mammoth mana. I don't really have anywhere else to use the ram through, though, because I don't have anything else big enough to shoot the Tigorilla. Yep, that's disgusting. You got me. I can't Heartless Act the Tigorilla because it has multiple counters on it. Alright. We can Corpse Churn here at least. Guess I do mill to fuel the Corpse Churn a little. Give it more options. And pick up a Honey Mammoth off of it immediately. So now we're in a position where we like need to top deck a land, but we saw how that's worked out for us these past couple turns. Give me the mana, please. Okay. Double Honey Mammoth is a plan. If I missed the mana, I could Extinction Event away my Coil Bug. And that would have been okay. Ooh. You know what? Honestly, 2 cards in their hand. Kind of want to Extinction Event while that Poacher is summoning sick. Still have 3 mana up afterwards, so I can Heartless Act their next card. And I still have a Honey Mammoth. It's going to be very obvious what I'm doing here, but they're still going to take it all. Cool. Free damage. I'm going to hold up Heartless Act 10 life against a red deck. Because I also kind of don't want to... Yep, perfect. I kind of don't want to Survivor's Bond until Honey Mammoth specifically is in grave. Yeah, it's still the biggest creature that we have. Period. Alright, 14 life to 12. We've got a 6/6 on board. They've got 3 cards in hand. One is a Drannith Stinger. some top deck lands here. I do think I need to go ahead and cash in the Survivor's Bond then, just to play more threats, even if they're smaller than a 6/6. If I don't have other spells to play here. Oh, Bastion of Remembrance. That is threatening. Every time one of their humans dies, any of their creatures dies, they drain us for a life. So they're going to be draining us through all their chumps. Okay. I'll hold on to this in case they have the 4/4 mutate that makes me discard a card. It's pretty unlikely. That's a big yikes. They're so dead, though, to double Lurking Deadeye. Yeah, because one creature gets in and they take 4. That is game. Close one there, but we do start things off 1-0, heading into game 2. Here we are for game 2. The gang's all here. Hey, triple Deadeye. Sure, whatever. Corpse Churn on 2, Gyruda into hand on 3. We're not impacting the board till turn 4, but our opponent's on a mulligan anyway, so could slow them down a little bit. There's Mothra's Great Cocoon. Oh, they're definitely a Jurassic Park fan over there. I guess just a dinosaur fan is what I should say. Because this is the Godzilla card. This one's Jurassic Park. This island is not. That's Khans of Tarkir Island. What is going on? Ooh, a Heartless Acts. I don't hate the idea of Heartless acting the Humble Naturalist to try to slow them down from casting their big creatures. Actually, I probably should have done that. It is too late now, but I can full control mode and do it as soon as it gives me priority. But if they go land into mutate a 4-mana creature, that's pretty bad. I was going to say, like, if they play a big mutate threat, at least I can just kill that threat with Heartless Act, but not with Mothra's Great Cocoon on their board. If they mutate onto Mothra's Cocoon, they're putting +1/+1 counters onto their mutate creature, and then Heartless Act can't kill it, because it has +1/+1 counters. Okay, let's Heartless Act the Naturalist now. But I should have just done this during my turn, I think. So unless they have like a 3-mana mutator, this held them off of like the 4-drop for the turn. Okay, Fertilid couldn't have killed that with Heartless Act either anyway. So we're all good. There's my own Naturalist. Tempting. So I want to play this out before turn 5. So I want to play this turn 3 or turn 4. So now or next turn. But I also want to put Gyruda in my hand on one of these 2 turns. I could cast Naturalist now, and then next turn I have 4 mana plus Naturalist. I can put Gyruda in hand and play a 2-mana creature. If I draw another 2-mana creature. But if I don't draw another 2-mana creature, if I put Gyruda into hand now, then next turn I get to go Naturalist plus Corpse Churn. But I would also just want to hold on to the Corpse Churn anyway. I think I play Naturalist now. Because I'm not going to want to go like Naturalist plus Corpse Churn next turn, but if I top deck another 2-mana creature, I'd love to go Gyruda to hand plus cast the 2-mana creature. Okay, and if we don't hit one, then it doesn't really matter either way. We're just gonna slap a Naturalist on the board, slap a Gyruda in hand. Now they need removal to kill the Naturalist, or else Gyruda's coming out next turn. And their deck looks like it might be decent for us to mill. They're a Sultai deck. They can have some big creatures, preferably even mana value creatures. Trumpeting Gnar. So here starts the mutate stack. Get a +1/+1 counter, get a 3/3 beast, draw a card, discard a card. And any other mutate they draw is going to go crazy, and they can try to draw into the mutate with Baby Godzilla drawing and discarding a card every turn. So we are getting threatened here, but we've got Gyruda to help us out. We milled nothing from their grave, and just a poacher for Mars. Okay. Not the worst Gyruda I got. But we didn't get our Space Godzilla or anything hilarious. Alright, and that holds them off. We can send in Gyruda, and if they kill it with multi-blocks, then I can just corpse churn it back during their end step to play it against them again later. This does mean not having a blocker up for their 4/4. But I can flash in Lurking Deadeye if I need to. Trade a Lurking Deadeye into the Trumpeting Gnar on blocks seems good. Alright, they're just going to get another land out of the Fertilid. It's a pretty good chump block. Cool. So I definitely don't need Corpse Churn up at this point unless they top deck removal for Gyruda, so we can play the Bristling Boar and just hold up the one for Poacher instead. Although if I paid off of Naturalist, I could still be holding up Corpse Churn. That might have been worth it. Naturalist is probably not the most relevant blocker right now. The only thing it blocks is Baby Godzilla. Yeah, I should have tapped Naturalist instead of auto-tapping. Or I should have cast Coil Bug. Either way. Well, I guess if I cast Coil Bug, I couldn't have drawn the card here. Okay. 12 life now, we probably have to just chill with Gyruda for a second. Well, Poacher can gain another 6. I'm not gonna chill. I have straight up no chill right now. I can still Deadeye trade into a Trumpeting Gnar. And I can also just gain 6 if I need to. And we're already pretty fine with sacking Gyruda because we have the Corpse Churn in hand to re-up the enter the battlefield effect. That's pretty nasty. Another 3/3 plus, make us discard a card. Guess we say goodbye to one of the Deadeyes. Oh my. If I do this, I can't sack one of these. Because I have to wait till Naturalist is dead to catch the Deadeye, or cast the Deadeye. But I can have the mana floating, let the Naturalist die, cast this still during combat, but after damage is dealt. If I full control mode this, I'm pretty sure. It's kind of a risky, pretty sure play, but I think this works. Can you pay the 1 mana, please? Hello? Okay. I don't know why I couldn't just click on that 1 mana. Damage, and then I still have priority and full control. How's the mana gone when it's still combat? Declare blockers combat damage is enough of a phase move that you lose your mana? I thought it was just like combat to main phase to end phase that you lose mana. Well, rip, I guess. That is not how it works. So you lose mana on steps and phases? Yeah, that's what it is. Steps and phases, not just phases. Alright, well that wasn't great. But still got a lot of cards here. The game's definitely not over. It's just annoying. Like, I thought it was similar to how you can, like, tap a creature for mana during your main phase and then sacrifice it to some other ability, let that ability resolve and still have the mana floating. But apparently letting combat damage be dealt is too big of a move forward. It's like a full step forward. I should have played this post-combat. Better recast Gyruda right now. And that would have been great. Despite the fact that I'm getting dangerously low on cards. After a Corpse Churn plus Gyruda, that's a mill 7. They kill one of these on board. Don't even need to Lurking Deadeye to get the kill here. But I can if they do something. That is the correct ram through. Because now, in order to still have dealt damage to the Whisperer, I need to not sacrifice the Bristling Boar. So we let it through. And now they just have 2 1/3s against a 4/2 and a 3/1, and I'm going to recast Corpse Churn and Gyruda. And everything is fine. Woo-doo. No, did we just miss? Nope, we got a Great Horn from them, thankfully. Almost missed. That's 7 cards in deck. I need to be pretty aggressive here, but I don't think I need to trade a 4/2 into a 1/3 when I have another Lurking Deadeye coming up. Okay. Now that I have access to the other Deadeye, I can trade the first one into both Baby Godzillas with its Enter the Battlefield effect. Chump, take 9. Make that a 2/2. Sure, I can still kill Baby Godzilla with my Deadeye post-combat here. Boop. Got a ram through if we need it. If we don't, we put a Coil Bug back in hand. And there's the concession from our opponents. Some sloppy stuff there where I thought that the mana during combat would work a little bit differently, but now we know for the future. And luckily we still find that win barely, and we are 2-0 now, heading into game number 3. Here we are for game 3, and we've got a Gyruda in our opening hand, so that's a snap keep. Ooh, cycling from our opponent, cycling a Dranith healer. They could be on black-white humans. They start with a swamp, cycle the white human cycler. They're on blue-black with the one generic cycler. Fair enough. They could have just speculated on a bunch of the one generic mana cyclers, because you can still throw them into any deck as filler. But, no, this is some full-on 3-color stuff. Interesting. Alright, they do have the Death Touch trick. I was going to say, this is a pretty free bluff, which is why I am just blocking here. Gyruda hand here, and then I can Naturalist Ram through next turn, or I can Naturalist here, Gyruda hand next turn and do nothing. Yeah, we Gyruda hand here. Cycle Frostveil Ambush. This is a cycling heavy deck. This is 5-color cycling? I am just praying they do not have Zenith Flare. If I Naturalist and they can't deal with it, then I get that Gyruda next turn. Or if they have removal, it's better to just play a Boar for now. I feel like we just take that gamble. I just take an extra 2 damage if they kill Naturalist. Oh, they have Essence Scatter. So they're just going to try to counter Gyruda. So we can tax them for 2. I mean, they might not have Essence Scatter, but that was quite a long pause there. That was like some amount of thinking. Okay, never mind. They're 5-color cycling, they tapped out a blue, and we get to play Gyruda. Let's do it. Oh, that's... Wow, oh my god, how did I click on the wrong card? Wait, I swear to god I clicked on Gyruda. What just happened? Oh my god, I hate our weak flesh brain sacks so much. Force them to double cycle for this Marmoset. I just don't block. I've got a ram through coming up. Oh, that was bad. Because now it's going to be so long before I can afford to Gyruda here, because I need to kind of ram through this Marmoset. Man, I would just completely, like, brain mush in the worst matchup in the format. I literally, everything in my brain and soul told me I was clicking on Gyruda. I'm a mana off from casting Gyruda and holding up Ram through. Can't afford it. Can't afford to do that. If I double block the Raptor, I sack Naturalist and kill it with Coilbug. I could play Bristling Boar here, still hold up the Ram through. More mana efficient, but now if I double block Raptor, sack something pretty legit. I have to deal with this freaking 8/8 Kraken soon. I like holding onto the Ram through, to force them to cycle a bunch into their Marmoset. Well, I guess that's already what they want to do with Ominous Seas on board. If they don't send in Marmoset here, that means they have less than 2 cyclers in hand, in which case it might be worth ramming the Labyrinth Raptor. I'm still just going to ram this Marmoset. The end step here. Tigorilla. Okay, maybe not, because that's another menace card now. Which makes the Labyrinth Raptor's ability even worse for us. Yeah, okay. If they play another Menacer, then yeah, get rid of this Raptor. And they're also just completely out of cards. They have to top deck into Cyclers. Ooh, a Blood Curdle? It's kind of huge. Kind of huge. I can Blood Curdle and play a Coil Bug here, or I can play just Gyruda. Gyruda's 2 blockers, though, almost guaranteed. Let's go Gyruda. Get a Poacher. Or a Sanctuary Smasher. Boom, sure. This is a slightly bold attack. Because if they top deck something very good, we might die. But we can stop all but 2 damage on board. Go to 6. It would have to be like double removal for us to die. But we could take a significant chunk of damage against a good removal spell off the top. Well, no. It would have to be like a really good removal spell. If it's literally just destroy target creature, then they kill Sanctuary Smasher or Gyruda, and they still can't really send in well. They send in a Coil Bug if they can kill the Smasher, but if they can't kill the Smasher, they can't even send in Coil Bug. If they top deck a Zenith Flare, we are literally dead already. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cyclers. Okay, we're 1 cycler away from dead. We're functionally dead if they top deck a Zenith Flare. Can Blood Curdle the Marmoset. Give the Sanctuary Smasher Menace and start attacking with that every turn. That feels really solid. But I could also save the Blood Curdle to deal with the 8/8. Potentially, I guess. I'm just trying to like go wide around that. I don't really want to trade a 6/6 into a 2/2 Death Touch Coil Bug, but I also want to end this game as quickly as possible to get around this 8/8. So clearing it out of the way to send in more stuff next turn could be okay. I don't know, I'm just going to send in the Smasher. They're down to 10. Back up to 11. If they have a Cycler in hand, they can make an 8/8 at instant speed, but now I have a Lurking Deadeye really making my attacks great. Even if they spit out the 8/8 here. Yeah. I guess I only play 1 more blocker, but they have to lose at least 1 creature to not die. Looks good. Cool. Should have tapped with Naturalist. I could have cycled Triome here. I keep, for some reason, like expecting Auto Tapper to do it for me. Figure out when to use Naturalist and when not. They need a lot of blockers. They've got at least 2. Thanks to the Ominous Seas. flying on the Kraken. All right. Do they have a haste trick? There is a haste spell in this format, Footfall Craters. Oh, thank God. All right. It's not the haste trick. They block the 6/6 and die. Ooh, my life was flashing before my eyes again. I thought that we just super brain mushed our way out of that game, clicking on Honey Mammoth instead of Gyruda. No idea what happened there early. And there were some other looser lines later on, so we gave our opponent some outs there. But we still got there in the end, and we are now 3-0, at least a 50-50 run with this deck. Yeah, we take those. 3-0 heading into game 4. All right, here we are on the play for game 4. Another slow hand, not doing anything until turn 4, but that's okay on the play. In this format, it's not super aggressive most of the time. And I guess we are on turn 3 putting a Gyruda in hand. That is something. Uh-oh. Okay. This is black-white humans with Whisper Squad or black-red sacrifice with Whisper Squad. We're dead. Black-blue. That could mean a little breathing room. But the Whisper Squad does just already immediately provide a lot of pressure. Uh-oh, no, not the white source. Don't play the +1/+1 to all humans. Well, they didn't. Here's our 2/4 to block the 1/1s. Is this just the double Essence scatter hand? Nope. They're not going to scatter the poacher. They are going to dire tactics it. Oh, it's exile. So much for Survivor's Bond then. Maybe they'll scatter Gyruda and we can Survivor's Bond there. If we don't draw anything else to play, we have to just slam down Gyruda and hope they don't have the scatter. They have 4 squad. Nope, 3 Whisper Squad. Out of their draft. 4 color again. What is going on? This is pretty wild. There's the Symbiote. And they're holding up the scatter, but I have literally no other play. GG. Well, we played it out literally the only way we could play it out. Is what it is. Yep, that's very dead. Technically, we take 5 and go to 2. But I can't afford to Gyruda off of Survivor's Bond until next turn anyway. I could Survivor's Bond it right now. That way I could play Gyruda and ram through next turn. Yeah, I should have done that. I should have done that. I was playing around, like, revealing it to them, but Gyruda plus ram through is much more likely to survive than just Gyruda. It's still almost a 0% chance to survive, though, right? Because Gyruda is 2 blockers maximum, so it would have been 2 blockers and 1 removal spell. Oh. Well, if we hit a lifelinker out of their deck, then yeah, if we had the mana for ram through here, we could have been good. Or if we had Honey Mammoth out of ours, oh my god. Can gain 4 on ETB or gain 3 on a block. I think I gained 4 off ETB. I really should have Survivor's Bonded a turn early. I just really didn't want to like Survivor's Bond and then have them have like a discard spell or something like that. Okay, double block go to 3 unless they have more removal. No, more removal. Then it doesn't matter. Probably. Oh my god, yeah, no, it doesn't matter. Obviously, we could have played it out better, but their hand was insane. We could be at like 5 life and get bodied. Rena's got jokes, man. Why does it have to punish me like this? Why does it have to be like, no, no, you still could have won? I'm gonna uninstall this app. Here we are for game number 5, 3-1 right now. Got that Skull Prophet or Humble Naturalist ramp towards Garuda here. Probably go for the Skull Prophet first, because if they don't have removal, it's the more flexible ramp. It can help cast Heartless Act and Survivor's Bond, depending on what's going on, instead of just creatures. It also helps pay for Garuda's ability of putting Garuda into our hand, which the Naturalist does not do. Playing against red-white. Start with a 2-mana 1/4, so much for ever attacking with the Skull Prophet or anything. Put Garuda in hand, but if I do that, I only have 4 mana, 5 mana max up next turn anyway. I almost think I'd rather play Naturalist and hold up a Heartless Act here for now. Because there's no way to cast Garuda next turn, regardless. Vulpikeet onto the Serval, sure, allow that. They get the full stats, and then we Blood Curdle it. Oh, this is a triggered ability, so I can actually kill it while it has no counters before that resolves. That's even better. I don't even have to wait. I can just kill it right now. It's a pretty sick 2-for-1. Sorry, opponent. Sorry, Vulpikeet. Well, we know what we're trying to do next turn, which is crush with Garuda. Orky Parrot. Alright, that is not gonna be a great anti-Garuda. We had a Coil Bug or their 4/6 or their Ghidorah. Or Destroya. We'll take the Destroya. Big 4/4 flyer. Feels good. Alright. Rock Slide the 4/4 flyer. Blood Curdle the only blocker, but I can still send in a 6/6 every turn for a lot of damage. I think I'd rather save the Blood Curdle. I could throw a Lurking Deadeye here. Let my 3/1 die, I guess. Just Deadeye the Parrot. Just to save that Blood Curdle for something else. I think our opponent's under enough pressure that we should just Survivor's Bond right now. Slam more creatures on the board alongside the Blood Curdle next turn, instead of trying to wait to redo Garuda. There's Cathartic Reunion to do some digging. Boot Nipper. I'm pretty sure they are dead to Blood Curdle. Boop. And lethal. And there we go. We are now 4-1 at a positive record out of this draft, no matter what. Heading into game number 6. All right, here we are with another one of our classic, very slow opening hands. We are luckily on the play. I want to think that I would mulligan if we were on the draw, but let's be real. I'm greedier than Wario. Alright, at least they didn't have a 2-drop either. No Sprite Dragon to start ripping me apart. And we're doing fine. They're just blue-red cycling for now. Pretty terrifying matchup. They could always just go plain Zenith Flare and my face explodes. But so far, so good. Kind of want to drop a Deadeye in their end step rather than casting Dark Bargain. So I've got a 4-2 to start swinging in if they still have an empty board. And I also like that it's a human to get into the grave early for our Survivor's Bond to pick up both the human Deadeye and the non-human Gyruda. Just Snare Tactician from our opponent. Yep, this is the full busted menace of the format. They have 4 1-mana cyclers already. They have the Snare Tactician. And this is going to be a super uphill battle even with a guaranteed Gyruda. There's a ram through. We can ram through this Tactician worst case scenario, but if we can trade into it, that is even better. Do I do this while they're tapped out? I don't think so. I have too many other good options to do at instant speed if they do something weird, like Dark Bargain and Deadeye as alternate plays. If they do absolutely nothing, I can just let Tactician stick around for a moment. Ooh, throw Lifelink onto it. Might want to ram through in response to Lifelink here. But then if they have Fire Prophecy, they counter the ram through, which is pretty bad. I guess I could just trade a new Deadeye into it. Or they have to Fire Prophecy the new Deadeye. This post blocks. I think this is post when I can declare a block, though, already. Yeah. Too late, anyway. They're just going to go to the end step. Alright, I don't really want to get Fire Prophesied here, but if they Fire Prophecy me, then they don't have an Essence Scatter for Gyruda. Yeah, I guess I just let them gain an additional 2 for fun. I should have thought that through one step earlier, where it was like, well, if they do Fire Prophecy to stop me from killing Tactician, then they can't Essence Scatter Gyruda, so still worth it. Pretty sure I still slam down Gyruda, because if they do Essence Scatter Gyruda, I still have Survivor's Bond. And I'm going to do it pre-combat because they could be running Lava Serpent, the 6-mana haste cycler. That's an even mana value gigantic haste creature. Alright, so there was no Essence Scatter, and there was no Fire Prophecy there? God dang. This is wild. 1, 2, 3, 4. This is more cycling cards than I've ever seen in any of our drafts. Oh, there's the Lava Serpent. They had it in hand. 1, 2, 3, 4. 5, 6, 7, 8. 9, 10. They're close to just killing me with the Zenith Flare. If they have 2 copies of Zenith Flare in their deck, we just lose, period. Because they're almost all the way through their deck, so they'll definitely draw both copies of Zenith Flare. The first one shoots me for 10, gains them 10, keeps them alive. Then the second one kills me. This is just terrifying. This is absurd. This is the best cycling deck I've seen so far. The amount of 1 generic cyclers they've managed to pull out of their draft pot is wild. Like, doesn't look like cycling was particularly contested. At least, it wasn't like aggressively contested. Let's see what they've got. They have to show us some kind of removal or they're dead on board. It is the Zenith Flare. Ew. Ew. Well, I've got the Survivor's Bond, but I won't have the mana to immediately recast Gyruda right now. So at least they didn't get to shoot us in the face, so they have to do significantly more work to actually kill us. I guess since I can't cast both of these 4-drops, I can only cast one of them, I might as well bond right now. Maybe we can keep them under enough pressure that they end up just milling out here. Okay, I was going to say an attack here would be super aggressive. So I could have 6 mana for Gyruda, 2 for something else. I won't have the mana up for the Deadeye anyway, so I could cast it right now just for more damage. Speed up the clock here. Yeah, I think I'm fine with that. Over Dark Bargain. Send everybody in, they kill 1 for free, take 8. Go to 8 life. I think that is worth it. Sacrifice 1 for 3 to deal 8 to our opponent. Oh, and I have a Space Godzilla. 1 mana off again. I mean, I could cast it. I just mean that I can't cast Gyruda and cycle that, which would obviously be ideal. Ooh, hello! Let's go! We found a lava buddy anyway. They're over it. I am assuming they did not have a second copy of Zenith Flare there, because if they did, we could still lose this game. They have 7 cards left. I'm sure they're close to 18 cyclers now. 1, 2, 3. Yeah, 13. 13 cyclers. 14 after the Lava Serpent dies. Yeah. Cycle 4 1 generic mana cards and then Zenith Flares in the face would still be an out. If they have another Zenith Flare in the deck, but luckily they don't. That was terrifying. That was a really, really well built cycling cycling deck from our opponent. They had the Flourishing Fox as a cycling finisher that can, if you play it turn 1, just become insanely massive. I mean, they cycled like 9-10 times that game. This thing would have been huge. Reptilian Reflection would have been a 3 mana 5/4 trample haste through the whole game. They had multiple Lava Serpents, so if they make it to higher mana values, they can just cast those. And obviously the Zenith Flare with that much cycling is wild. They even had the Moloch to recast a cycling card for free. The Stinger, if they had that early, that would have done so much damage to us that we probably would have just died to Zenith Flare. Terrifying stuff, but luckily, Gyruda's absurd, and we win that one in the end. We are now 5-1 in the money as we head into round number 7. All right, let's just keep being on the play and doing nothing till turn 4. We are on game 7, hoping our opponent is not going to be super aggressive. But if they are, maybe we can hit our extinction event. There's Evolving Wilds turn 1, so it's still a mystery. Swamp it is. They're black-white, this could be bad. Black-red, also pretty aggressive. Yep, there's 2 1/1s, one of which has haste to immediately slam right into us. I don't think I want a Corpse Churn with the Gyruda available. Can Gyruda now, and then I Naturalist plus Corpse Churn next turn, which leads into potential turn 5 Gyruda. The Corpse Churn is just like a backup. If they kill the naturalist, I could corpse turn it back, I guess, but I probably wouldn't want to. Double Forbidden Friendship is a very threatening board already. There's a +2/+1 to everybody spell in this format that they could use during combat. There's a +1/+1 to everything on their board forever enchantment. That would be really nasty. I think that's +1/+1 to just the humans, though. Still be pretty good with 2/1/1 humans. A lot of things that could make things real explosive here. All right, they are going to Blood Curdle. That is rough. I might corpse churn the naturalist back. I guess that would guarantee Gyruda the turn after next turn, even if I don't hit a land. But if I corpse churn naturalist back and I cast it next turn for 2 mana, that's the only spell I cast next turn anyway. So if I don't top deck a land, then I can still just go churn naturalist. If I do top deck a land, yeah, then I definitely don't want to do that, because I can just go land Gyruda next turn guaranteed. So it's much better to actually block at least 1 point of damage here, and it feels easiest to do that with a flash creature like Lurking Deadeye to play around sorcery speed removal. Oh, they do have the Sanctuary lockdown. No. Oh my god. Triple Forbidden Friendship Sanctuary lockdown? Peace. Nice knowing you, everybody. I mean, they just tap 2 humans, tap our best blocker next turn. I don't see how we can come back from here, but I'm going to try to play tighter than I did the last game when I didn't think we could come back, because if I played that one out... Oh. Never mind, I'm just going to concede. If we played the other game that I didn't think was possible to win... I should have conceded. I should have conceded! If I played out the other game that I thought was impossible to win correctly, then we would have actually won it, because we top-decked that late extinction event, so... This one was unwinnable. That was us finally getting punished for keeping really slow hands. We finally found the aggro deck, and it was an absurd one. 6 1/1s on board off of just 3 spells. The lockdown to buff up 3 of them, and to tap down any blockers. And then Gyruda completely missed out of each deck as well for just maximum punishment on that hand. Obviously, we couldn't have played it out any difference. The only thing that could have changed was maybe a mulligan into like the quickest hand we've ever seen as a chance. Game 8 on the play. There we go. There's a pretty quick hand. Naturalist into a 4-drop on turn 3. Unless they deal with the naturalist, obviously. Facet Reader. Ooh, another naturalist? Even if I plop down another naturalist, I still have to spend a turn putting Gyruda to hand, so it doesn't mean next turn Gyruda even off of top deck land. So I think it's a little better to just get our 4/3 out here. Next turn, if I top deck a land, I can put Gyruda in hand and play the next naturalist, which is cool. Frost links my boar. Slow things down. Whoa, we did hit the land. That is actually super good here. Let's go. Wingspan Mentor. They do not have the mana up for a counterspell anymore, so we don't even have to worry about that. We'll take 2 in the sky, go to 17. Do have to tap out for this Gyruda, but let's just do it. Oh, we did it! Oh my god, we hit Space Godzilla! 6 mana for a 6/6 and an 8/8 Death Touch. Fair and balanced magic. Charge of the Forever Beast to kill Gyruda because they don't have a big enough creature to kill the 8/8 with it. Sea Dasher Octopus to start drawing cards off this Frostlink's Connecting, trying to find an answer to Space Godzilla. They gotta find one pretty quick. They could Starks up the Octopus and head us for a lot in the sky. That is a little threatening for sure. But we can play a Honey Mammoth and keep the pressure on them while gaining a bit of life. Or I could hold up a Ram through. Like dropping the Honey Mammoth here, I think. Well, still have mutated twice. So if they do hit the land to Starks onto the Octopus and it does resolve, they also get 2 random permanents off the top. That could be explosive enough that it is worth holding up Ram through instead. Let's hold up Ram through instead here. Might have even been better to play the 4/2 just for higher power. Okay, cool. So now they just get a 6/6, but they don't get any of the triggers. Cool. Double Deadeye, we can just send in the whole board. I'm not going to send in the Naturalists, though. Hardcast a Shark Typhoon to send a message. I like it. I appreciate that. We are 6-2 now. Really just an unbeatable draw, an unbeatable curve out. Companions just showing off how fair and balanced they are. We are heading into that final boss now. Win or lose, this is going to be the final game of Magic. See if we can get a 7-win run in one of these Ikoria drafts, or just get so close but leave with our tail between our legs. We'll find out soon enough. It's time for the final battle. All right, here we are on the draw for the final battle. We really need to draw into a black source, but having the Naturalist in the opener means it's one of the faster hands that we've had. It does help ramp into that Gyruda. If we can hit our land drops, and if we find the black source, we can cycle Space Godzilla towards lands. Missing a black source would be really bad for this hand, though. But again, we're on the draw towards it, and we have like 9 in the deck, I think. 9 black sources. Think we can keep on the draw, but barely. I'm gonna take the gamble. It immediately pays off. We have at least 3 mana no matter what. We have Heartless Act available. We have Corpse Churn available. We have the Space Godzilla cycle available. We are playing against Black-White, so I'm pretty happy that we actually have the cheap creature here, because that's one of the most aggressive archetypes, just Black-White humans. I kind of want to just Heartless Act this General's Enforcer here and just slow them down as much as possible, because if this game goes long, we're going to die. Or sorry, if this game goes long, we're going to win. We need to make sure that it does go long and we don't die in the early game while they get to curve out pretty aggressively. Oh yeah. Really happy I killed that Enforcer when they had a Sanctuary lockdown coming up to buff all the humans. This is potentially a way to spit out a bunch of humans later. cycle a Space Godzilla trying to top deck land for turn here, so that we don't miss a land drop. I don't hate that, and then they have to tap down Coil Bug or else we just trade, because Death Touch. Alright, well, we didn't hit land for turn. Probably not blocking with Naturalist. I guess it's better to hold it back, though, because again, if the game goes long, we win. Oh no! Oh no! Why? Why? Okay. This card just beats our whole deck. Oh. Oh my god. What on earth do I even do? What do I even do? Absolutely nothing. We draw into Extinction Event and we can exile that, I guess? So we're all in on top deck and Extinction Event eventually? I could put Gyruda in my hand right now, or I can just slam a 4-2 onto the board. If we don't top deck exactly Extinction Event, it feels like our best bet is likely to try to outrace the Venture because it doesn't have Vigilance. So we can still attack in and try to outrace their guaranteed 4 damage a turn. So let's drop a 4-2 here. Double? Oh god, I have to outrace 5 a turn now? Okay, that's harder. Might want to ram through the checkpoint officer instead of... Okay, if it's not attacking, then that's fine. I'm gonna say there's an argument to ram through the checkpoint officer instead of dropping the Deadeye here. But if they're not gonna attack with the officer anyway... I think I play a Boot Nipper? No, getting to Honey Mammoth mana is huge. Play a Naturalist. Hold up, ram through, go to combat to soak up 2 mana, and then attack with whatever they let me. If I trade into Officer, then that would be fine. Okay, they're not going to let me trade into Officer. I'm going to have to ram through the Officer. Let's ram through the Officer. Boop. Yikes. That really helps them outrace us. 3/3 that drains us for a life when it dies. Man, I'm still a mana away. We drew 1 land this game, and then we just stopped. We were like, alright, that's good. End it right there. That's not true, Rena. That 1 land is not enough. It's kind of close, because I am only 1 mana away from Honey Mammoth and Gyruda and stuff, but it's not quite it. We needed to hit 2 lands. Yeah, I mean, if I just don't hit Honey Mammoth next turn, I'm just dead, period. So we're just all in on top deck land. I can gain 2 off of a Boot Nipper, but that puts me at 9, which isn't enough to survive 2 swings from Venture anyway. Still think it is the best creature to play here with my creature mana. I could get the Gyruda mana investment out of the way right now, or I can Corpse Churn or Survivor's Bond. I don't want a Space Godzilla next turn. I don't want a Lurking Deadeye next turn. I want a Honey Mammoth next turn. That's the only thing that actually saves me. So we just put Gyruda in hand because I'm not going to do anything that I Graveyard occur anyway. Like, I'm not going to Gyruda either, but if we hit the Honey Mammoth mana, I am going to Honey Mammoth and then Gyruda. Oh boy. Oh boy. I'm going to do this pre-combat so they can't do anything to the Naturalists when I move phases. 2 swings to die. One swing and I'm dead now. Pacify the Honey Mammoth so I can't recur it or anything? Uh-oh. Ram through, though, with a lifelinker? But it only shoots opposing creatures? I can't shoot my own creature? No! I can't lifelink with the Boot Nipper because I can't target Venturer because it's got protection, and I can't shoot my own card with the Ram through. Oh no. They're 13, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's just not lethal. We have to Gyruda into like another Honey Mammoth or something? Or something that buffs a Boot Nipper up? Not like this. There's no life gain we can pick up. There's no enchantment removal we can do. We have to Gyruda, and it has to hit some way to gain life. We do have another Honey Mammoth, though. Ah! Oh! That's a way to gain life. A turn too late. Man. What an ending. That was absurd. I can't believe we still almost won. Ran up against the card that completely blanks our entire deck. It's like the free win card, but we were still like 1 turn from victory. So close. Sad way to end it, but it is what it is. I think that was the best we could have done on that one. And 6 and 3 is going to be the final result for the draft. Very cool deck, very fun deck. Obviously, it is always pretty fun to be able to play with the companions. They're pretty fun, pretty busted, and they're pretty much always worth building around to guarantee that every hand you have has a bomb rare in it. Just got to spend the extra mana towards it. There was that one game I think was super winnable. I didn't think it was winnable at the time because we would have had to draw incredibly well, and then we just drew incredibly well in a row into the extinction event in the end even, to where had I played things out perfectly, I think we would have maybe won that game and been at a 7-2 victory here in the end. But just some minor misplays early. It stacked up for us, and we don't quite get the trophy run. Still really close, still pretty happy with how I drafted, with the deck we drafted overall. This was a cool one, a fun one, a powerful one, and one that was more than capable of getting a 7 win under some stronger hands. But hey, still leave the event with more gems than we paid in to enter. We are still going infinite in draft, so we take those. That is going to end today's video. As always, I'd like to thank my patrons and YouTube members for their support, as well as you for watching the video. If you're interested in seeing some more, you can always like, comment, and subscribe to tell the YouTube algorithm to send you some more in the recommended feed. If you'd like to catch me live, you can check out the Twitch channel in the link in the description below. And if you'd like to support the channel directly, you can check out the Patreon link in the description below. But other than that, as always, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again soon for some more Magic Arena.